Welcome to day 8 of a month of tarot, and we are continuing playing with the cards. We're going to play with them a little bit longer before we get deep into the dives. We will be moving forward, going into some really profound work with our intuition, and hopefully get you really joined up and connected. But for now, we're going to continue to play, make the tarot fun, see some really interesting patterns, and begin to see how they work, see how they connect with stuff that's seemingly random, because the tarot are magic like that, and they do present us with miracle day in, day out. That's why I do not get bored of them. Just yesterday, I did a tarot event, and I was reading for women one after another, and everybody's cards were so different, but within those readings, each person would get the same cards over and over. And one of the women said to me, "Is this normal?" And I said, honestly, no, it's not normal in the big scheme of things that the same card would continue to come out for one individual person. But for me, it's normal because the tarot do this all the time. However, what I would call it is magic, because it is, I guess, if you were to look at the odds of the same cards coming out for the same person and then changing for the next person, but then the same cards coming out for them, the odds have got to be pretty slim. But that is the magic of tarot, and that is why we are here. So our little mission, our little thing, our quest we're going to do today is to get your cards. You can do this along with me or later, and whatever we come up with, I'd love for you to comment below so that we can see these patterns arising, not only in our own cards, but across the board with each other and the other members of this group. So what I would like us to do is to source a news story. Now, we don't need to take this to anything political or passionate. We don't need to go look at the big tragedies of the world. Let's keep this light. So go grab your local newspaper and find something that's kind of quirky or different, or just, nothing that's going to raise your temperature, nothing that's going to make you feel sad or anything like that. We can save that for, you can do that in your own time, frankly. There's enough of that misery going on. So we're going to find a story in our newspaper online that feels just like something interesting. We're not particularly emotionally provoked by it. It's not going to cause us to feel in any which way about it. Just a story. So the story I have found is on the Guardian website, and I have it here, and it says, "A new start after 60. I moved to France at 68. It's where I belong." And it's a story about a woman who moved from England, fascinated by the foreign country just a few dozen miles away, and she made a life for herself in France. And there's a picture of her there surrounded by sunflowers. So with that in mind, and with the cards being shuffled at random, I'm going to pull a card. So this is the example, and I want you to do it with your own story. Interesting card just fell out of the deck. Oh, excuse me. It's the Four of Cups. So this, I will speak about this and I'll pull another card purposefully. So this is a woman who is in the familiar, is in the known. So she's in her bush. She's kind of in a space that she knows. She has her 3 cups down the bottom, and here is the adventure, the new thing. So for me, this speaks really strongly to that kind of story, that she's lived in this same place for the most of her life. It's familiar, it's known, she has loved ones and connections and everything here. That's there, down there, the 3 cups. But something else called to her, and she had to leave this familiar space to go do something completely new and wild. So I love that that card came out, but I'm going to take another one on purpose. Okay, so based on this lady who moved to France, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So I love this. This is a card of the sun raining down material magic upon us. So presumably she was financially able to do that. And often it comes up when there's a move, or a change or a new community, a new village that we are entering into. So I see this card, particularly with this deck, because each deck will work differently. And often this is quite unique imagery for the 6 of Pentacles. Often it looks completely different than this. But here we have this new place that she has brought herself to, and she's been enabled to do that, I guess, financially and materially. So these two together speak of she's in her familiar bubble, she leaves it for this passion, and she's materially able to do it, and here is her new community. And that's how it works. That's how we play. So please do think of a new story, find a new story, something sweet and innocent that doesn't really, kind of challenge or trigger you in any way. We don't need to go down that route. We're just keeping it light and fluffy at the minute. And pull a card or two for that news story. Read the news story, look at the images that go alongside it. And then when you pull your cards, have a little think about how the cards reflect something about that story. It's a fascinating game to play. You can do it with as many stories as you like, and it's just a great way to start building associations with the cards. Obviously, I have 30 years worth of associations, so for me it's quite easy to take, particularly when I painted this deck myself, to take a card and to know what it means. But this is where you begin. You begin by building and layering meaning, and this is a way to do it, and it's fun, and hopefully you'll see some really great connections there that will kind of inspire and fire up your tarot practice. So more games tomorrow, and then we'll be moving on into intuitive knowing. And I seem to have something floating, cat hair floating around me, which is pretty standard. I usually have cats around me when I'm doing tarot. Okay, everyone, in the comments, please, with your news story and the cards you pulled.